quickly before we start this second 2K Saturday video that I've put out, last video that I put out was my Do You Need Shooting to Succeed in the NBA video, and I had to re-upload it because of some copyright issues, and I also put it up pretty late. So there's a good chance that you did not catch that video, so if you did not, please go give that a watch. Actually think there was a pretty good discussion in there, and I talked about Lola Bunny for perfectly non-creepy reasons, so go check that out. But with that out of the way, I want to talk about Lauri Markkanen. If you know me, you should know that Lauri Markkanen is easily my favorite player in the NBA. He's the only player ever that I've had more than one jersey for, because I have two for him. But Lowry is a 7-foot power forward. He is a really good shooter for a power forward. One of the best, if not the best 7-foot shooters in the NBA right now. If Brook Lopez is 7 feet, he's probably a little bit better than Lowry is as a shooter, but not better overall. But yeah, three-point shooting is his biggest ability. He's also good in the mid-range to an extent, though he does need some more work there. He can post up when he has a smaller guy on him, and he's pretty fearless going to the basket. He's not he's not soft in any way. Like, he's happy to dunk on you if he sees that there's space to do it. He's fully aware of his size and fully capable of using it, though he does struggle with strength a little bit. He's put on muscle, but he's still not the strongest in the world, so he's not able to bully guys, especially guys who are his own size, but he's more than just a three-point shooter. Another part of his game that is incredibly intriguing is his ball handling. He's really good at pump faking, and then if you go for it, he can make a straight line drive easily and make a layup or a dunk. He also is prone to take a pull-up every once in a while, which we never really see from a 7-footer, but he can't do it. And he also has a really, what could end up being his signature move, drag step, which is, he takes 2 steps, he hangs in the air for a little bit and does a really short jumper off of the glass, or just a regular short jumper. But anyways, that's Lauri Markkanen's game. He's also a not good defender, not terrible, but not good, and pretty good rebounder. Got 9 a game last year. And speaking of last year, he put up 19 points and 9 rebounds, shot I believe 44%, 37% from 3 on 6 attempts a game. He needs to work on improving his overall efficiency, but a really good year for him, especially after the poor start that he had. So far in the preseason though, it's been concerning because he has really struggled. The best game he had was a 15-13 game, and 15 points for Lowry should not be considered good for him, being that he nearly averaged 20 last year. But not only has missing shots been a problem for Lowry in the preseason, what is most concerning to me is his lack of aggressiveness. He's had some issues towards the start of his career where he was just not aggressive enough. He would be pretty timid. He didn't take shots that were not really good shots. He wouldn't force anything at any time. He wouldn't try to create for himself in any way. He just wasn't really looking for his shot as much as you would like someone with his offensive skill set to look for their shot. And this pattern really went away towards the second half of last season, but it at least seems like it's coming back in the preseason. Luckily though, it appears that that's just because the Bulls have a new offense. If you've watched them play in the preseason, it's radically different from what it was last year. Way more passing. Jim Boylan has implemented an offense where you're supposed to either shoot, pass, or take it off the dribble within half a second of catching the ball, which is great for a modern day fast-paced offense. But I think Lowry in that offense so far anyways has been delegated to being more of just a spot shooter because his game is not really great for a high-pace offense. So my hope would be that if he's going to not be able to score one-on-one as much, that the Bulls run an offense that features him as a shooter more than they currently are. Because it seems right now they're just having him stand there, where it'd be best if he was in the pick and pop or, running off some screens. I know it's weird for a 7-footer to come off some screens, but fuck it, do it. He's a shooter like that, so let him shoot the damn ball. But with that out of the way, I do want to talk about the February that he had this year, towards the end of last season. After we had traded for Otto Porter Jr., the Bulls went 500 in February for the first time since trading Jimmy Butler. And in that month, Lowry averaged 26 and 12, I believe, on really good efficiency. It was easily the best month of his career. I'm not going to look up what the exact stats were, but I remember them being very good. Same went for Zach LaVine and many other players on this team. But Lowry in that offense was very efficient, and in that offense, we were really focusing on getting three-pointers. So far in the preseason as well, there's been a lot of focus on three-pointers, so I think that should be reason not to be too concerned about the preseason. And I also think that based off of how the Bulls performed with Otto Porter Jr. before he got hurt, this could be a sign that Lowry really plays well when Otto is on the court, as Zach did as well. Otto is only able to play 15 games for us, but those were some phenomenal 15 games. And this year, presuming that he is healthy for most of the year, that extra spacing, extra help on defense, allowing Lowry to be more focused offensively, not having to worry about help defense as much. I think that, along with the new additions that we've gotten with Thaddeus Young and Thomas Satoransky, will allow Lowry to really fit within this offense and really feel more confident. Because when you're playing with a bunch of bums, you have to worry about the defense focusing in on you, which they're going to do if you're playing the Bulls. If you're playing the Bulls last year, you're playing defense on Lowry and Zach, and then you're letting everyone else break their shots. That's pretty much the extent of it. And February was a sign that you get another shot maker in there, another good floor spacer, and that's not quite the same deal. And offense ends up coming easier for Lowry and LaVine. So, I do think these new additions, the floor spacing, the extra defense, the overall fit being there, should allow Lowry to be pretty successful this year from that standpoint, though I do think this new offense could end up hindering him a little bit. But as for a season prediction for what I think he can do this year, I think I would say what I want for him, this isn't necessarily my prediction. I would want him to average close to what he did last year, which is, I'd say, like 20 and 10, right on the money is pretty good. He averaged 19 and 9, one more point, one more rebound. I'm good with that. But I do believe that what needs to be emphasized with him this year is efficiency, because he's been shooting in the mid to low 40s as a big man, which, despite being a big-time shooter, that's still not great. Dirk Nowitzki for his career shot around 40% despite being a big shooter as a big man, so that's not really an excuse. So while I do think he needs to be more aggressive, he also needs to get better at using that aggressiveness at the right times, because there would be times where, I know this sounds contradictory, but he would force some bad shots because he was being told that he needs to shoot more. I guess it's kind of a complicated issue, but I think he needs to shoot more, but more importantly, he needs to know when to attack at the right times. Also, I do think a lot of this responsibility lies on more than just Lowry. I can tell you from his rookie year specifically, but it still continued on for the other years. In his rookie year, when we had fucking Jerry and Grant, I swear to God, that guy would just run out the clock while Lowry had a point guard on him in the post. It was the most frustrating thing in the world. The dude over dribbled the hell out of the ball, would not pass it to Lowry when he had a mismatch. So I think a lot of that was the offense just isn't focusing on Lowry as much as it should. One promising sign of the preseason was they did go to a Zach LaVine, Lauri Markkanen pick and pop, which I think really should be the foundation of this offense. Zach with the ball, Lowry screening, trying to get a jump shot. That should be the foundation. And as long as they're doing that, I think he should be fine. But as for a season prediction, I'm going to say his averages go up, but his efficiency stays about the same. So I'll say 23 points, 9, maybe 10 rebounds, although Wendell being there complicates that. And then he'll shoot like 44% and 38% from 3. Not the greatest efficiency, but also far from the worst. And be a 23-point scorer. I think he should be within this offense pretty much equal in shot attempts. Maybe not shot attempts, but opportunity as Zach LaVine, because Zach is pretty happy to take shots, and as a guard, and how easy it is for him to create offense, because I don't think there's many players in the league who make offense look as easy as Zach LaVine makes it look. Because of that, Zach's probably always going to lead this team in shot attempts, presuming this team's foundation stays pretty close to what it is right now. But Lowry should be pretty much tied with him in terms of how the offense focuses on getting people shots. Zach can just get a lot of offense on his own, regardless of what the game plan is. Now, as for my long-term predictions for Lauri Markkanen, I think he's the best player on this team long-term, better than Zach LaVine. but I also don't think that difference is going to be huge. Zach LaVine has a couple year advantage on Lowry, so it makes sense for him to be better than him at the moment. But, 3-4 years from now, I think Lowry can be better. If I had to make a prediction for the type of player he is, I'd say he's like a 23 to 25 and 10 guy on like 48, 40, 90 shooting. I also hope that he can become a better defender. He doesn't like not try on that side. It's just like low IQ on defense. He has the size, he has the length, he's getting stronger and stronger as the years progress. So hopefully, with time, he can become a solid enough defensive player at the 4. I also hope that his ball handling ability can go from a nice little thing that he can do occasionally to like a real go-to thing. Maybe not quite on the level of Pascal Siakam, but at least to the point where it's something that defenses have to worry about. And if I had to make a player comparison for Lauri Markkanen, I think I might go with LaMarcus Aldridge, but instead of mid-range shots, he's more of a three-point shooter, if that makes any kind of sense, where he's a power forward. The offense that runs through him is going to get him a lot of three-point shots, and he's going to be prolific at making them, one of the best big men and just players, period, at making them, and I think he will be a solid rebounder, solid enough defensive player, and a multiple-time All-Star, and considered one of the 20 to maybe even 15. I think he can get to top 15 best players in the game. Granted, you can take all of this with a grain of salt because, as I said, Lauri Markkanen is my favorite player in basketball. So if you don't see the ceiling that I'm giving him, that's fair enough. Granted, I feel I have a pretty realistic expectation of him. I'm not out here saying that he's the next Dirk like some people will. I think LaMarcus Aldridge is a fair comparison. Can probably be the second best scorer on a championship team, but not the best. And anyways, with that said, that's what I think of Lauri Markkanen. Go ahead and let me know what you think his ceiling is, what he'll do this year, and whatever other thoughts you might have on him. But that's the end of this 2K Saturday video. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more NBA content like this, and cue the outro music.